Hi everyone, I'll be showing how you can test your memory using MemTest86 Plus without using a USB drive. MemTest86 Plus is an open source, standalone memory testing utility that will test your computer's RAM for errors. It's important because faulty RAM can cause all sorts of problems, and identifying issues can save you a ton of trouble. So I'm going to download MemTest86 Plus, going to memtest.org, scrolling down, and then download. And I'm going to download the Linux ISO 64-bit. And it mentions on the left side here about creating a bootable MemTest86 Plus USB drive, but we're going to be doing this without using one. Now going into my downloads folder, and there's the file, going to extract it. And going into the folder, there's the ISO file. Now I'm going to mount it, so right click and mount. And if you get this error about Smart App Control blocked a file that may be unsafe, then we can just mount it using PowerShell. Okay, start PowerShell, and we'll do a mount disk image dash image path, and then we're going to get the path for the file. Right click, copy as path, and paste. Enter. All right, and we see it mounted, and I'm going to close this. And now I'm going to open up disk management, start disk management. All right, in disk management, we see the ISO, it's been mounted, and it's on the G drive. Now, if I reboot my computer, it won't be able to boot from it. As I've mounted it here in Windows, it will only be seen here. So I'll make a new partition on my disk here, and I'll boot from it. So I'm going to use some free space from my C drive. Right click, shrink volume. We'll do 100 megabytes, shrink. And there's my unallocated space. Right click, new simple volume. Next, next, next. Change the file system to FAT32. And then the volume label, I'll label it as ISO. Next, finish. All right, and there's my new F drive. And I'm going to go back into Explorer and go into the G drive where I have the ISO mounted, copy everything, and then go into my new F drive and paste. All right, everything has been copied over. Going back into disk management. And when I'm done doing my memory tests, I'll remove this partition. Now your BIOS should be able to detect this partition and boot from it, but if not, it may need to be seen as an EFI system partition. So I'm going to change that. Go into disk part, start disk part, run as administrator. Yes, type in list disk. And there's only one disk here, so it's disk 0, select disk 0, and then list my partitions. And it's the 100 megabyte partition, so I'll select partition 4. And I'll type in help set ID. And I'll type in set ID equals, and scroll up, and look for the EFI system partition value in hex, copy it, and paste. Enter. All right, we see it has been changed, and we see it be changed as well in disk management. And now I'm going to reboot my computer and go into the BIOS. In your BIOS, ensure that Secure Boot is disabled, and if you have Fast Boot, disable it as well. And now I'm going to do a one-time boot into MemTest86 Plus. It's labeled as UEFI OS, and how I can confirm that. Go back into Windows, open up a command prompt as administrator, type in bcdedit space / enum space firmware. And at the bottom, you can see there's partition F, the F drive that was created, and the description, UEFI OS. I'm going to boot into it. All right, it has gone into MemTest86 Plus, and we see at the bottom there, F1 for configuration, F2 to disable SMP, which will force it to only run on a single core, and enter to start testing. And by default, there's a short timeout, so if you don't select anything, it will just start testing. So I'm going to go over the options. So F1, and then here are the settings. So F1 is test selection. So if I go into it, so there's tests here from 0 to 10, and you can customize which test that you want to do. For example, an inversion test. So it would fill the memory with all ones and then read it back, and then fill all zeros. and see if there's errors. A bit fade test, which will test memory retention, a block move test, which will move large amounts of data, and so on. So for example, if I hit F2 to remove a test, I want to remove test number 0, and then so it would be removed. And then I can hit F3 to add it back, add in 0, and it puts it back. And if I want to add a test range, so I can do F4, and then the first test 0, and I can do it to number 3, for example, and F5 will add all the tests. So I'm going to do all the tests, and I'm going to do F10 to exit. F2 is address range, so if I go into it, so I can set the lower limit and the upper limit for the memory. So for the lower limit, F1, and I can do 1024 KB, and then we see it starts at 1 megabyte, it's 1024 KB. And then F2, you can do the same thing. You can set the upper limit, 4096 KB or 4 megabytes. And then I can do F3 and it will test everything. So it will just revert back to the default. So I'll leave it like that. I'm going to exit by hitting F10. F3 is CPU sequencing mode. So I got parallel, sequential, and round robin. Parallel, each CPU core works in parallel on the subset of the memory region being tested. And then sequential is each CPU core works in turn on the full memory region being tested. And finally, round robin is a single CPU core works on the full memory region being tested, with a new CPU core being selected for each test. So I'm going to leave it as a default parallel. I'm going to exit F10, and then F4 is error reporting mode. So F1 just shows the error counts only. F2 will give a summary of the errors. F3, which is selected, individual errors, so details on every error. F4 is for bad RAM patterns it notices. F5 is Linux memmap, so if you want to work around certain addresses. And F6 will show page level failures. Now we'll keep the default of F3, which will show any individual errors, as even one error is bad. So F10 to exit. F5 is CPU selection, and here I can select which CPUs are used. So the range is 0 to 11 or 12 logical CPUs. This computer has a 5560U CPU, so it has 6 cores by 2 threads, so 12 logical CPUs. And I'm going to keep the default of using all the CPUs, F10, exit. And then F6 is CPU temperature disable, so I can have it to enable it or I can disable it. And it would show CPU temperature information. If you're having an issue when running the test, you can disable it. I'll leave it as the default of disable. And then F7, RAM temperature disable. You can enable it or disable it. It would show RAM temperature information. So if you're having an issue when running the tests, you can disable it. I'll leave it as the default of disable. And finally, there's F8 for a boot trace enable. This will show detailed information if you run into a problem running the test. So for example, if it hangs or you get a black screen, I'll keep the default, which is enable, and then F10 to exit. All right, and it's starting to test my memory. And so this will take a little bit of time depending on how much RAM that you have. All right, it has completed and there are no errors, which we can see, so that's good. And the pass value has incremented and MemTest86 Plus will continue running. Now I'm going to quit, I'm going to hit any key and then escape. And now I'm going to go back into Windows and remove the partition. So go into disk management. Now if I select the partition, right click, delete volume is grayed out. So I'll do this in disk part, start, open up disk part, run as administrator, yes, list my disk, select disk 0, list my partitions, and I'll select partition 4, and I'll type in delete partition override. And it has been removed. And now I'm going to go and extend my C drive. Right click, extend volume, next, next, finish. So that's it. That's how you can test your memory using MemTest86 Plus without using a USB drive. I hope this video has been useful and I thank you for watching. Bye now.